Our Big Ten Hockey Media Day coverage as we head to Madison and check in with the new face of the Badgers, head coach Tony Granato. Tony, I know the surroundings are familiar for you, but the league is different. So your initial thoughts about A, returning to your alma mater, and B, doing so as the head coach of the Badgers as part of the Big Ten?
Well, obviously, I'm very excited to be back on campus. It's been a long time. I left in '87 to go pursue professional hockey. I've been gone ever since. We used to come back in summers and be around the program and be able to work out and train in Madison while I was playing professional. I've kept my ties in Madison, so to get back here and be part of this program is something that I've always had in my heart. I don't think my heart ever left Madison. I've been gone for a long time, but a lot of the same faces and the same atmosphere and the same pride in the school still exists. And I'm very fortunate and lucky to be back. So I'm excited. I think we put together a great staff with my brother Don Granato as an associate coach Marco Sicchi as well, two other alumni that understand what Badger hockey means. They've experienced it and been part of their lives since their college days. So we're back. I think now that the Big Ten, obviously it's a little different landscape than it used to be when we were WCHA members when we were in college. It's exciting, and Notre Dame's coming in next year. I think the league with Minnesota, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, all are great teams capable of putting a great product on the ice to make for an exciting brand of hockey. So we're just looking forward to getting it underway and seeing where we fit into this league.
Tony, your NHL coaching career spanned 13 seasons as either a head coach or an assistant. In 12 of those 13 seasons, the team that you were coaching had a winning record. So you clearly could have stayed in the NHL had you wanted to. Why was the timing right now for you to return to Wisconsin?
Well, I think, like I said in my first answer, I think there's always a big part of my heart was in Madison. And timing-wise, to be able to do this and have Marco Sicchi and my brother Donnie alongside of me, what just seemed everything was right. Everything lined up just the way you dreamed of as far as an opportunity. Wisconsin hockey, for me, is a program with great history and tradition. It's a program that in the last couple of years hasn't lived up to that standards that has been set in place for a long, long time, since the Badger Bob era and even before that, on what Badger hockey is. And so the timing for us to come back, everything just worked out well. Obviously, I love my career in the NHL as a player and a coach, and I'll miss parts of it. But I also feel like now that I'm here, I'm back home. And I'm excited for this challenge. I think our players are ready to go and ready to get out on the ice and prove that the last couple of years were unacceptable and we're way below standards on what we expect as a hockey team and as part of the athletic department here.
Tony, you mentioned the staff. Your brother obviously brings familiarity to you. And Marco Sicchi is considered one of the premier recruiters in all of college hockey. How important is that aspect for what you did in terms of assembling the staff?
Well, I think the first and foremost thing is Donnie and Mark and I have been together, I guess, sharing ideas. We've never been on the same bench with all three of us in a coaching position before, but whether it be during the year or summers, we consistently talk about hockey and philosophies and whatever it is that comes up in the game of hockey. We're sharing our ideas with each other. So as far as the transition or wondering who's going to do what, who's responsible for what, we already knew that coming in. And like you said, Mark is a great recruiter. But I think the one thing that Mark does better than anybody is he develops defensemen. If you look at his record on the defensemen that he's brought in, as not only recruited but helped develop, there's a lot of them still playing in the NHL. Some of them are captains, some of them are the number one defensemen on their teams. You got McDonough, you got McCabe, you got McBain, you got Suter. I can go on a list of players that he has had a personal touch on that have developed into sensational NHL players. So that's what he's here for. He's a great guy to work with. He's certainly someone that I am going to lean on a lot from the development of the D side of things, from the development from the offensive side of things, and the creativity that Donnie brings to the table is he's been with the development program in the U.S. for the last 5 years. He's recruited a lot of the best young players in America for his program. and he's turned them into NHL draft picks and players that are playing in the NHL. And his specialty, or what I think he is better than anybody is developing young, skilled players. And that's what we want here. We want players to come in here that want to develop, to go on to play professional when they're done here at Wisconsin. And I think with what we've done with the staff, we've given players the opportunity to come here and hopefully live that dream of having a great university to play for, and then also have a chance to play pro hockey when they do leave.
One of the criticisms over the last couple of years was a couple of missed recruiting cycles, and after the team went on to win that first ever Big Ten tournament championship, a big senior class, including guys like Michael Mersch left, and that left a very young roster. But now some of those guys still exist, and it seems like the roster has a lot more experience on it. What do you see when you look at the roster that you inherited and what those guys are capable of heading into the 16-17 season?
Well, I like our team a lot. I'm going by from what I've watched on video from last year. Obviously, there were a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, and things didn't go as well as planned as far as the results. But I think a lot of guys learned a lot from last year. I think there's a lot of offensive skilled players here that are going to be exciting players not only to work with, but to watch. And that's what I've noticed on our limited practice time so far, is the ability that our forwards have to create plays, to really do some things offensively that I wasn't quite sure we had. So that's been very bright. We got a defense that's a little bit inexperienced in different areas of the game. I talked about Mark's impact on what I think he can do with our group of defense to make them better. And our goaltending situation should be solid as well. So we got some exciting things to look forward to. I think the biggest thing is to get the puck dropped and get some rhythm into the season. I think these guys have worked extremely hard to get ready for the season. I know they're tired of us as coaches harping them on all the little things that we think they need to get into their game and to what it means to be a Badger. So I think right now we're in good shape. And obviously we got an exhibition game coming up that'll start us off, and then hopefully we'll get off to a good start and you can see what Badger hockey is all about.
Tony, it's hard to believe that by the time that your playing career ended, a lot of the guys that you're now coaching were just starting in their formative years of hockey. Some maybe didn't even have skates on. How familiar are they with what you did as a player? Has anyone come up to you and talked to you about your stats or video that they watched on YouTube or anywhere else?
No. I think most of the video on YouTube is probably not that encouraging, so they're probably a little shy on bringing up some of the things. But I just, you don't worry about that. What you worry about is gaining respect from your players, from what you bring to the table. And I think from a staff perspective, we like to work. We like to be on the road recruiting. We like to teach. And I think we got a lot to offer to the group. Hopefully they are in a position where they understand what we're giving them is solely for the purpose of their development. I think that's the one focus that we've really talked about every day as a coaching staff, is we're here to develop these kids. Obviously, they're student athletes. They got a big burden of making sure they take advantage of the education that's being offered to them here. We got to make sure that they're going to class and doing things right there. But we're here to develop them as players, and we want to teach them. We want to help them, give the best opportunity for them to grow as athletes as well, and that's the responsibility that we've taken on.
Wisconsin head coach Tony Granato, a lot of excitement up there as he returns to lead the hockey program at his alma mater. Tony, great to catch up with you. Wish you the best of luck in year number 1 at the helm in Madison. I'm sure we'll talk to you plenty along the way.
Sounds good, Rick. Thank you very much. Have a great day.